All right, here we go. Excitement abounds in the world of Cybertruck land. I don't know how many people are going to be checking in tonight after I kept postponing my streams and I didn't get a new video out this week. So we'll take what we can get. I just wanted to talk about the Cybertruck. I wanted to talk about something besides work is what I wanted to do. So anyway, let me know if everyone can see, if sound is good and whatever. If you're not getting this, also let me know. Yeah, 55 is a long week if you got to work a lot of them. I don't usually have to work more than 50 hours in a week. 50 hours is kind of a long week for me normally, but this is the part of the year when everybody wants to get their snow removal bid. And we've had a bunch of large bid opportunities come in that have been really straining the whole team. So it is good. It's really good. I mean, I'm very grateful, but it's overwhelming when I'm in the middle of it. The whole team is in the middle of it. So, but we're having some Jameson tonight. I went for a motorcycle ride after I got this last big bid turned in. And then I came back, got ready for the stream, poured myself a Jameson. So 7:58. So waiting until we get to 8 o'clock before we actually dive in to what I wanted to talk about. I hear that the new some people have asked. I've had several requests about the Ram TRX. Now I think I'd seen a teaser on it a while back, but I haven't seen the new video that just came out. So I gotta look into it. So if there's anything you want to talk about, put it in. Someone asked about the Kramer Rob Maurer Tesla Daily video, which I'm going to talk about. In fact, it's going to be kind of a focal point of tonight's video. We're going to talk about the piece of the conversation where they were talking about the Cybertruck. So anyway, yep, I've got some videos I'm already working on, but it takes a little bit of time to shoot them and edit them. So hopefully next week we'll get back to at least putting out one new one. The comparison videos are a little easier for me because I can just get everything onto a spreadsheet and then walk through it. But they also kind of get boring after a while, so I like to do some of the other video topics. I don't have any thoughts about how wide the vault will be. I have I know I can get some people that have actually pulled up the CAD, or they've created their own CAD files, and they have projections on it. In fact, maybe this one. Does this one have it? Yeah. This is the you can download, you can get these little they look like blueprint things from Cybertruck Owners Club, and they're just free to print out, and they have some of the dimensions on it, but they don't have the actual bed width on it. But I'm sure I can dive into that and see if I can suss that out. All right. It's 8:01. We can start. Woo. Okay. So, just starting out, looking at the reservation count. And again, I don't know exactly how they suss out the difference, because there's now well over 1 million numbers that have been issued. But according to the latest, the furthest number down on the list that I could find, the reservation count is just over like 720,000. So, and I don't know why they use that math. So we're going to say it's somewhere between 720,000 and like 1 million reservations. We can see now that the trend is still ticking up, and I expect that's going to continue to happen. The closer we get, the more news there is about the Cybertruck. Now, just what's been going on with Tesla stock has created a bunch more interest. We're going to talk about that in the video that we're going to talk about some other things with the Cybertruck. So I'm expecting this to continue to accelerate. The new Elon's new comments about the upgrade to full self-driving, well, autopilot, sounds exciting. So again, I think as these things get closer, and of course battery day, who knows what's going to come out with there on battery day, but I think it's just going to keep ramping up this interest and excitement for the Cybertruck. So, okay. All right. Glad to have you here, Mudhog. Okay, so let's talk about this video. Now, I'm going to tell a little story here. So I'm 50 years old now, and every once in a while, one of the cool things in life is when you get to relive something that you were really excited about, and then your excitement is kind of tapered off, and you kind of forgot how excited you were about it. But then you watch somebody else get excited about it, and it like reignites it's like, oh yeah, I remember this. And I would say being in a position where my hobby is the Cybertruck, and one of the things I like to do is find new ways to talk about the Cybertruck. It kind of, I forget what the moment was like when I first really decided I was going to reserve one. When I finally really looked at it, I was so blown away by everything. And that like, it was like opening a Christmas present. And then, you get so used to the idea of the Cybertruck, and you're living with the idea every day, you sort of kind of forget what it's like to see someone else have that light bulb moment. I liken it to the first time I introduced my teenage kids to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I loved that movie. And, but then I got old, and, all my friends, it was like nothing new. And then I watched them watch it for the first time, and they laughed at all the same things. And I was like, this is amazing. This is such a great movie. And it's kind of timeless. And this was to me what watching this video was like when I was watching Rob Mauer. So if you don't know, this is a interview or a conversation between Jim Cramer here on the screen, who's a very popular stock guy. I would assume most people know who he is because he's even been like on Iron Man and stuff like that. And Rob Mauer, who does the Tesla Daily podcast, and he does all kinds of stuff about Tesla as the stock. And of course, the stock itself has been on a tear. And so it facilitated this conversation. And I was just watching this because I pretty much watch all of Rob's stuff. He probably, as far as Tesla YouTubers that are my favorite, it would be between him and Stephen Mark Ryan. Those would be probably, well, kind of, I guess Sandy Monroe is in another category, but those would probably be my favorites. Those are the ones like I never skip a video of watching. So anyway, the conversation turned to the Cybertruck while they were talking about the stock. And I was really surprised at how little Jim Cramer, who is actually a truck person, he drives, and he's talked about it on his show. He drives a F-350, and he's not a hardcore truck guy, but he owns a truck, and he has looked at trucks. And so it really surprised me how little he was aware of how profoundly earth-shaking the Cybertruck was, because he was turned off by the aesthetics. And I think that just happened to him, and all of a sudden he just shut down. So I'm going to play this to about 4 minutes. Then I want to talk about it because it got me excited. It reminded me of what it was like. And then unfortunately, Rob's responses, they were good, but he's not a truck guy. And I was like, oh, I wish he could have tagged me in here, and I would have told Kramer why this is such an amazing vehicle as a truck person. And anyway, that was so. This is I'm tagging myself in to the conversation. So here we go. If you can't hear this, let me know.
Vehicle. I bought a Super Duty once. You don't call them the 350, the Super Duty. Phenomenal, works really well. Should have bought it with diesel, not with gasoline. But let me ask you. I look at that their equivalent of the Ford 150, and I find it ugly. I find that this time it may be the car too far. I thought the Y might be the car too far. I was wrong about that. Is it possible that there could be a blunder here? That pickup truck isn't successful?
Yeah, I think it's always possible. I think that was the big concern when the Cybertruck was unveiled. A lot of people initially did find it to be not an attractive vehicle.
Okay, so I'm just going to mention a couple of things. I don't know if he's playing dumb, just so Rob has something to talk about, but you'll see later on in this video, I think he's being legitimate here. And why that's so surprising to me is Jim Cramer doesn't live in a hole. I was stunned that he wasn't aware of how explosive the interest in the Cybertruck has been and all the things, we've all been talking about for months. So anyway, which means if he's this way, there is a massive population of people that are like this or worse. They're just blind. They don't know what's going on or how earth-shatteringly amazing the Cybertruck is going to be if it can live up to the promises, the specs.
Say the least. I think the more that you see it, the more that you become, familiarized with sort of the unique looks of it. And I think that's actually attracted a lot of people is just, the appeal of something different. And Tesla's able to offer that. The truck market is pretty big. I think Ford sells 1 million F-150s a year roughly in the United States alone. And that's, predominantly the truck market is the US. But the Cybertruck now, Tesla hasn't released the reservation data, but from sort of, people piecing things together online, the speculation right now is that Tesla's got about 1 million reservations for the Cybertruck already.
Okay, look at Kramer's face. This is genuine surprise. He is genuinely stunned. He's not making it up. He's listening to this. And then as Rob Maurer says, 1 million reservations. Kramer's face he's blown away. He can't believe it because he saw the triangle, the wedge, the doorstop, and then he saw the broken window, I'm sure, and he checked out like a lot of other people did. And little did he realize this whole time that there's been this groundswell of enthusiastic reservation holders queuing up and putting down $100. And I'd put down more if I had to. I don't know if I'd be able to put it on $3,000 for 3 Cybertrucks, but I would have put down at least $1,000 for one of them for sure. So anyway,
Elon has said that it's been sort of the most successful product that they've unveiled so far, which is saying something because the Model 3 had 400,000.
I didn't watch Jim's face as he goes through this.
The reservations are cheaper for the Cybertruck. They're only $1,000 versus or $100 versus the Model 3 was $1,000, so it's not directly comparable. But I think regardless of whatever the reservation level is or the reservation price, Tesla has shown that there's massive demand for the Cybertruck, which I think can ease any concerns from investors, even if they don't necessarily themselves like the look of the truck. I think the demand is shown, and the specs on the vehicle. It's again comes down to the value proposition. Maybe you don't love the looks of it, but it's an incredible electric vehicle at an incredible price.
All right, so tell me what makes it so incredible.
So
tag in the Cybertruck truck guy. No, sorry. We'll have to do it when they're done talking.
The top of the line Cybertruck going to cost $70,000. It'll have a range of 500 plus miles. It's going to be able to charge at 250 kilowatt hours or 250 kilowatts plus, which would be the fastest, charging rate that's really available on the market. To get something like that for $70,000 is really not, there's just nothing even close to that that any competitor is out with. You know, Lucid Air, they're an electric vehicle startup. They are Lucid Motors. With the Lucid Air, they just talked about their 500 plus mile range electric vehicle test on the EPA cycle. So that car is going to cost about $150,000. So that kind of gives you some context for, you know, where Tesla is versus some of these other electric vehicle competitors. You know, the Porsche Taycan is another good example that runs $150,000, $200,000. I think the lowest trim is around 100,000, but you know, those are getting you ranges of 200 to 300 miles, and this is a massive vehicle. So it just shows Tesla's powertrain advantage that they're able to offer something like that for such a low price.
Yeah, I was looking at the 150 as something that I remember my wife's a car person. I said, listen, let's go look at the 150.
So at this point, they just talk about the value proposition of the Cybertruck, and so if he was asking me the same question, I would have said, because my tri-motor Cybertruck is going to cost less than your fully outfitted Lariat 4-wheel drive Ford pickup truck, I'm going to be able to off-road better than a Raptor. I'm going to be able to drag race faster than a Hellcat. I'm going to be able to pull as hard as an F-350 diesel. And then when I'm all done, it's going to cost me less to fill it up than it costs to fill up a Prius. That's what I would have said. So I said that in one of my real early videos. I used that line. But to me, it is, in a nutshell, it is singular. There is no other vehicle like it. And it's not even like the other electric trucks, because the looks of it are bringing in an entirely new group of people into pickup trucks. I understand that the looks turn off some people. And they kind of, at first, it sort of puzzled me. I mean, I wouldn't say it turned me off. I was more like, huh. But what is happening is that there's a whole bunch of people getting Cybertruck reservations that have never owned a truck before. Why? Because they think it's badass. That's why. So you kind of fall into one of two categories when it comes to looks. Either you think it's badass, looks awesome, futuristic tank or whatever, or you think it looks like a doorstop. I mean, I think it looks like both, but I happen to love it. And the thing that he's missing here, and that so many people miss, is the fact that you don't like it doesn't mean everyone doesn't like it. And it goes back to the utility and the value proposition, the cost to own it, the cost to run it, what you get, and the distinctiveness of it. What was so fun about this was watching Jim Cramer. You could just see, like, suddenly he realized, oh my God, for the same price as a truck, which is what I've been trying to say in all my comparisons, we're not almost to price parity. We are there. The Cybertruck is at price parity with pickup trucks that it's competing against, with far superior options and a way lower cost of operations. So that's what it just watched this video reminded me of how many people are out there that are going to have their minds blown in the months and in the years to come. Especially, I can't wait until we start to see Cybertrucks like showing up for real. Okay, anything else? Okay, no other questions. So I wanted to mention, and this is probably going to be a short video. There hasn't been a super lot of news about the Cybertruck, except the Gigafactory is progressing. But I'm thinking I don't know why. Who knows why? But there hasn't been a lot out there to do. But the one thing that has been cool is talking about this suspension interface. Whoa, I got a pop-up ad. Last time I don't remember. I never noticed. Probably they pop up and I just click off them. I'm not streaming, so it's not like, what the hell is going on? Anyway, so this interface was released in the newest version of the Tesla operating system with cars that have the current version of the adaptive air suspension. And I haven't talked a lot about the air suspension recently, but this is extremely interesting to me because in the unveil or the reveal video, Elon Musk talked about having the ability to control the compression and the rebound. And I wondered, sometimes you don't know if he says things that he is really genuinely meaning, like the ability to actually control compression and rebound from inside of the cab is, I don't know of another truck suspension that you can do that with. So there are air suspensions for cars that allow you to do that. But I am not aware of any truck suspension that lets you do that. So one of the things I am excited about is that they are obviously really starting to dial in the interface that's going to let you control on a granular level the compression and the rebound. So if you don't know much about suspension, the compression and the rebound explain how easily the springs compress when, say, you hit a pothole or a bump. Bump. So you're driving along, you go to hit the bump, and your tire goes up into the car. And so if you have a really stiff suspension, like a typical truck suspension, you hit a speed bump. Like when I would drive over speed bumps, unless I have my plow on, then you don't hardly feel it because it really helps the compression out. But when I don't have my plow on and when I would hit a speed bump, you just almost get thrown if you're going more than 5 miles an hour because there's very little, it's very hard compression. And the rebound is how quickly it goes back into position. And so the ideally what you want when you're doing higher speed, like racing, you don't have a bunch of rough terrain, you want a stiffer suspension. And then when you're off-roading or you're just like cruising, you're just like on vacation, you want a much more compliant suspension. What to me is amazing is that you can actually control both ends of the way that this suspension is going to work theoretically. So I just wanted to mention this. This is a Fox suspension. Fox is generally, considered to be, and I'm not sure if this is a rear or front set of truck shocks, but if you want to get a legitimate like Baja, and this isn't even necessarily Baja, the Baja suspensions they're custom built for the real Baja trucks, but they're to get a really good off-road suspension for your truck is expensive. And if you want, so that's the list price. Then it's usually another $1,000 or so to have it installed, unless you do it yourself. And I wouldn't do it myself. I'm not handy enough to trust myself to do that. Then what you have to do is you have to actually make the adjustments to the suspension manually. Right here, there's knobs that are little dials that you can use to change the compression and rebound characteristics of the suspension. If you look at this is a popular car air suspension company, and they let you adjust. Let me see if they have it here. They have a really cool system. Yeah, I forgot to. They have a cool system that lets you, from inside your car with a Bluetooth controller, change the characteristics of the suspension. And theirs is a similar price. I'm just going off this. There's almost always there's usually extra things. Like this doesn't come with the electric feature, and this might not even be the right one. They have one that's specifically designed to let you adjust these from inside the vehicle, raise, lower, change the compression and rebound characteristics of the suspension. So the thing that is so unique about the Cybertruck is that when you get one of these kinds of suspensions, what you end up trading off is you trade off a lot of compliance and wheel travel, but you lose a ton of payload and towing capacity. So if you look at a Raptor and compare it, so Raptor's an F-150, but it's been modded out to do off-roading. The payload and towing capacity is like 40% less than a standard F-150. And so the Raptor, and I go through this in my comparison video, but the Raptor is like 1,500 pounds of payload capacity versus the Cybertruck that will have 3,500 pounds. So why does that matter? Like, why is that such a big deal? Because you can use the Cybertruck as a work truck, towing, hauling, doing stuff that you would use a work truck for that you normally need a really stiff, really rugged suspension. Then you can make some adjustments and it can become a super cushy, luxurious car type suspension. Or theoretically, I mean, this is what I'm really interested in. I really want to see this like out. I want to see the Cybertruck doing the kind of videos the Rivian did. And see how the suspension is behaving. But theoretically, you can go from the super stiff, very strong, robust suspension all the way to a compliant, luxurious, to a very capable, hardcore, high-speed, off-road suspension vehicle. And it's included. It's included. It's in the cost of the vehicle. It's free. It's so revolutionary. Truck people are gonna ride in this thing and they're gonna go, I've never ridden in a truck that rides so nice. Well, the Rams with their air suspension, they're pretty luxurious. On the speed bumps, it's just so supposedly the existing air suspension remembers where obstacles are or speed bumps, and I think it can lift your vehicle or do something. I just know that supposedly it's supposed to be able to make some kind of adjustment. I would say if you drive over a speed bump in a, like, let's see, what is I don't drive luxury cars, but whatever, a Lexus, a really nice Lexus sedan. You drive over a speed bump, you're barely going to feel it. So if you have your suspension, I would normally, if I was driving around town, I would have my suspension set to be luxurious so that it's a nice, comfortable ride. Then if I'm going to go out, you want to go out and zip around in the country, then it's just a click away. I can change it to a high performance. But generally, unless you're using your vehicle for work, you're going to want it kind of in that sedan luxury SUV mode. So, let's see. Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah. That's what typically you're always sacrificing. A more comfortable suspension means lower payload and less towing. So, I was basically, I thought that the Kramer video was really fed right into the suspension video, because as people start to understand, and again, once these get out into the real world, and people like me, who use their trucks for both towing and work and off-road, are going to be doing videos and showing what it can do, and we'll be bringing our buddies along. Right? I go out riding My buddies are all going to be, hey, let's go ride in the Cybertruck. I know it's going to happen. Everyone will, right? I mean, I won't. I'm way down in line. I'll be wanting to get rides with you guys that are early in the reservation list. I'll probably have to go down to Texas and, hitchhike or something outside of the gigaplant. But the enthusiasm for the Cybertruck already is the most successful product they've ever launched. And it's so, I'm not saying the Model X, the Model S, I'm not saying they weren't revolutionary in their own way, but we're talking about a level of orders of magnitude that will be separating it from every other vehicle out there, not just truck, every other vehicle out there, that it's just going to, man, it makes me excited. It's like watching Monty Python and the Holy Grail with my kids again. I'm excited. I get excited. I get one of these moments like once a month where I go, oh yeah, I'm so excited for my Cybertruck. Like it's the gift that keeps on giving. All right. Let's see. Well, I don't really have anything else. I know it's only 30 minutes, but like I said, I was saying earlier, long. I worked an 80-hour week this week. So it's been long. So this is about the energy I have for tonight. Unless there's any other, I don't think there's, how's my wish list going? Steven, I'm going to, okay, so here's what I'm thinking about doing for the feature list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to probably put like 3 or 4 variables. Like, okay, this feature will be easy to do and cheap, but it doesn't have a lot of interest. And this feature has a lot of interest, but it'll be difficult to do or expensive. And so I'm going to put in like my own, I'm going to take a stab at defining the variables of the features. And then what I think I'll probably do is make it a Google Doc that anyone can view, and then try and, I don't know how to get feedback on it, but the goal would be then we identify a handful and then we start, like, I don't care if they're even the things I want the most. I just think it'd be cool if like several hundred of us just started tweeting for the same feature. Like for 2 weeks, we all decide we're going to tweet Elon Musk for 2 weeks straight for this one feature. That's kind of what I'm hoping to do, is like use this as a way to coalesce support around the features that people most want, which I'm pretty sure right now is the full pass-through. Based on everything I've seen, it's between that and the solar panels. But that's what I want to do. I think it'd be kind of fun for like a week or 2 weeks or a month, like constantly bombard them from a bunch of us Cybertruck fans. So that's my tentative plan. So here's kind of what happens this week, like this kind of until mid-September. I usually am working long hours, but I really need to try and get some video, like at least a video a week back out again. But the goal would be I have sort of a preliminary list with like variables, and then I'll rank them as best I can, like power rank them, and then I'll put it out there for you guys to have feedback on, and then we'll kind of come up with like a little Cybertruck feature activism plan to harass Elon to get what we want, or whoever else. I don't know. We could go after some other like more better known Tesla people or something. I'm open to strategies on that, but it's like I want to, like do something collectively to try and get the features we want the most. All right. Did I see the Cybertruck being filmed by a drone? Nope, I didn't. No Sandy Monroe. I was gonna try and integrate his Sandy Monroe live talk from this week into tonight, and I didn't have the time or energy to filter it down to a few things I wanted to talk about between, my 80-hour work week. So, I definitely, I'm sorry. I don't have anything. I wanted to, but it wasn't like he was specifically talking about the Cybertruck. So I was going to have to kind of infer some things, but anyway, sorry. He's worth Tesla lies. Yeah. Someone needs to make that t-shirt. So someone tell Stephen Mark Ryan he needs to make that t-shirt. He does a good job with his t-shirts. He needs to make one that says Tesla lies. Or maybe, I don't know if Monroe Live will do that. I would buy that. I would buy that t-shirt if someone made it. Okay. Has anyone suggested an add-on Cybertruck for your exterior camera for trailer tiny house? Oh, hold on. Let me write that down. That's a good idea. Like additional Bluetooth cameras or something. For like trailers and stuff that could integrate. That's a good idea. Well, maybe he'll block us too. Who knows? Well, there's the Cybertruck owners group. I don't know that it's. I don't think there's any formal clubs. We kind of talked about doing something, but there's only so much time. How do I allow? Is that a setting on the Google Doc? I can allow comments. I'll look at that. That's a good idea. I don't. Oh, hey, Ethan. Good to see you. I don't know. I don't think they do press. Yeah, they're pretty like. You only get cars if you buy them. I haven't seen them giving any, even the influencers that have like a million subs getting like early access to Teslas. I think they kind of treat everyone the same. All right. I think that's it. Let me look and see if there's any questions earlier. Oh. Hey, Ethan, I think we're going to have some cool new properties this year. Ethan is one of part of my snow team. So he jumped on here. Okay. Let's see. So I have Starlink. I have a Starlink compatible. I think the issue with the Starlink is more going to be a mounting issue. And also, I don't think they're going to, I think they're going to limit subscribers at first based on, I think they're going to want to see what the bandwidth is like. So I think their focus is high-speed internet for people living in rural areas or areas where internet access is problematic. I think that's how they're going to start this. So I think if you lived out in the sticks, maybe you could put it on your Cybertruck or RV if that's where your address was. But I understand they're doing it by address. So unless you're in an area that doesn't get good internet, I'm not sure. But okay. All right. Built-in Nespresso. I've never even had an espresso. I think you could just put your own in there. I don't think that's an easy one. Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't know what we'll do as far as the meetup goes. I suppose I'm mostly focused on just figuring out a place and how to do it where everybody that comes has a good time. So as far as like the money side of it, I'm not, this is for me just kind of mostly a social thing. So I don't really want to put, I don't really want to do like entry fees or anything. I just want to make it kind of informal and anyone who comes can come, and maybe we'll do a t-shirt I got my t-shirt. Oh yeah, you guys will just ask for the link, and I don't know how to do it, and I don't have time right now. But I did get my t-shirts, and they look awesome. I didn't want to put the link up there until I actually saw what they were like, in case they sucked in real life. So yeah, maybe next week I'll put the link in if I can figure out how to do it. Oh, all right. Well, I think that's it for tonight. Anyway, bye. We'll talk to you next week.